What happens when a brave 7-year-old, a humble lemonade stand, and Clint Eastwood cross paths? It's a story you'll never forget. The summer heat hung heavy in the air, the kind that made the pavement shimmer and sent neighbors scurrying for shade. On a quiet suburban street in Santa Clarita, California, life moved at an unhurried pace. Lawns were neatly trimmed, sprinklers clicked rhythmically, and the scent of freshly cut grass mingled with the faint aroma of barbecue from a few houses down. But for one little girl, this was no ordinary day. 7-year-old Emma Jacobs sat behind her homemade lemonade stand, a folding table covered in a red checkered cloth. The sign perched at the front read, "Lemonade for Hope," written in bright, uneven letters. A pitcher of lemonade, sweating in the heat, sat in the center, alongside a pile of plastic cups and a mason jar labeled "Donations." Her floppy straw hat shaded her delicate face, and despite the heat, her brown eyes sparkled with determination. Emma wasn't selling lemonade for a new bike or a trip to Disneyland. She had a bigger goal, one that weighed far heavier than the summer air. Emma was fighting leukemia, a battle she'd endured for nearly a year. Her stand wasn't just about lemonade, it was a symbol of resilience, courage, and hope. Every dollar raised would go toward her chemotherapy treatments, an effort to help her parents, Claire and Brian, who had been stretched thin emotionally and financially. A year ago, Emma had been the picture of health, a vibrant child with long golden hair and an infectious laugh. She spent her days climbing trees, riding her pink bike, and painting whimsical scenes of unicorns and castles. But then came the tiredness. At first, Claire and Brian dismissed it as part of growing up, until it was joined by unexplainable bruises, persistent fevers, and weight loss. The diagnosis, leukemia, hit the family like a freight train. Emma's world changed overnight. The hospital became her second home, and nurses became familiar faces. Chemotherapy drained her energy and caused her hair to fall out, leaving her bald and self-conscious. But it never stole her spirit. "I want to help," Emma had told her mom one evening, her small voice firm with conviction. "I want to sell lemonade." Claire had hesitated, her throat tightening with emotion. The simplicity of the idea was heartbreaking and beautiful. "Okay," she whispered, brushing a hand over Emma's smooth head. "Let's make it happen." That Saturday morning, Emma and Claire worked together to set up the stand in their driveway. Emma wore her favorite yellow sundress, saying it matched her lemonade. Despite the toll of her illness, she greeted passersby with a bright smile and a cheerful, "Lemonade for $1?" Her first customer was Mrs. Henderson, an elderly neighbor who shuffled over with her cane. "Good morning, sweetheart," she said warmly. "Good morning. Would you like some lemonade? It's $1 a cup," Emma chirped. Mrs. Henderson handed her a $10 bill. "Keep the change, darling," she said, her eyes lingering on the sign. Emma beamed. "Thank you so much." As the day went on, more neighbors stopped by. A young mom with a stroller, a group of kids from Emma's school, and even the mailman, Mr. Alvarez, all came to show their support. By noon, the donation jar was half full. Emma's spirits were high, but the $10,000 goal felt impossibly far. Yet, she didn't lose hope. She sipped a small cup of lemonade, adjusted her hat, and waited for the next customer. The late afternoon sun cast long shadows across the street as Emma poured another cup of lemonade. That's when she noticed him. A tall man dressed in a weathered leather jacket and dark jeans walked toward her stand. His grizzled face was partly hidden by a shadow, and his sunglasses reflected the sky. He moved with a deliberate, relaxed confidence that caught everyone's attention. "Hi there," Emma called out. "Would you like some lemonade? It's only $1 a cup." The man crouched slightly, his rugged face softening. "$1, huh? Seems like a bargain," he said, his voice deep and gravelly. Emma pointed to her sign. "It's for my chemo," she explained matter-of-factly. The man's expression changed, his jaw tightening ever so slightly. "Your chemo, huh?" he murmured, glancing at the donation jar. He pulled a checkbook from his jacket. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Emma," she replied. "Well, Emma," he said, scribbling something on the check, "I think it's time this stand got the recognition it deserves." He handed her the check. Emma unfolded it with trembling hands. Her eyes widened as she saw the number. $50,000. Claire rushed over, her face pale with shock. 50,000? She whispered. The man smiled. She's already doing the hard part. She just needed a little push. Someone in the crowd whispered, "Is that Clint Eastwood?" The name rippled through the gathering. Phones came out, whispers turned to gasps, and soon everyone was craning their necks. Emma tilted her head. "Are you famous or something?" Clint chuckled. "A little bit," he said, "but not as famous as you're gonna be, Emma." Word of Clint Eastwood's visit spread like wildfire. By the next morning, photos and videos of Emma's lemonade stand were all over social media. News outlets picked up the story, dubbing her the little girl with the lemonade stand of hope. Strangers from across the country began sending donations. Local businesses offered their support, and a nearby hospital pledged to cover Emma's remaining medical costs. Emma's story touched hearts everywhere. A little boy in Kansas sent $2 with a note that read, "You're so brave. Love, Charlie, age 8. A retired teacher from Maine sent $500, saying Emma had inspired her to live with purpose. By the end of the week, Emma's stand had raised over $100,000. But the money was only part of the story. Emma had brought her community together, reminding everyone of the power of kindness and hope. Months later, Emma's treatment showed remarkable progress. Her doctors were optimistic, and her hair began to grow back in soft, golden tufts. The lemonade stand was retired, but its impact lived on. Clint Eastwood stayed in touch, checking in on Emma and even inviting her family to a movie set. "You're the real star," he told her during one visit. Emma's journey inspired a local charity to start an annual Lemonade for Hope event, raising funds for children battling illnesses. Her story became a beacon of resilience, proving that even the smallest acts of courage can spark extraordinary change. On a sunny day a year later, Emma sat on her front porch, sipping a glass of lemonade. Her parents sat beside her, their smiles reflecting a newfound peace. Across the street, kids set up their own lemonade stand, their sign reading, "For Emma." Emma watched them with a knowing smile. "They're going to do great," she said softly. And they did. Because Emma had shown them all that hope, like lemonade on a hot summer day, could quench even the deepest thirst. And so, what began as a simple lemonade stand turned into a global movement of hope, kindness, and resilience, a testament to the extraordinary power of community and the unexpected ways the world can surprise us. Emma's courage touched hearts far and wide, reminding everyone that even the smallest acts of bravery can ripple into something far greater. But this story is just one of many. Every day, ordinary people do extraordinary things, proving that the human spirit is limitless. If this tale inspired you, imagine what more we can uncover together. Join us on Talecraft, where stories come alive, stories that will inspire, challenge, and uplift you. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel to be part of a growing family that believes in the magic of storytelling. Together, let's craft a world full of tales worth telling. See you in the next chapter.